boys and girls. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day. I'm reading this on Monday, so I hope that you guys were able to go outside yesterday. It's Monday evening right now, and it's still really nice outside. Ella and I spent some time outside this afternoon. So I hope you got to play outside, especially because it's been kind of cold. So it was a nice day outside. So hopefully you got to go out. And we're going to keep going with our read aloud. I do want to give a birthday shout out to Eli. Eli is celebrating his summer birthday today. So happy birthday, Eli, even though your birthday is later on. But if we were at school, we would be celebrating all the summer birthdays during the months, I guess, of April and May. So I just wanted to go ahead and celebrate the summer birthdays. So we have 5 more after Eli. So we'll be celebrating their birthdays. So I hope you have a great day, Eli, and I hope you have a great day in the summer as well. All right, we ended the last chapter with the BFG blowing the bad dream into Mrs. Johnson forgot. The flesh lump eater. He blew the bad dream into the flesh lump eater's ear, and the flesh lump eater was screaming and yelling. And do you remember he was dreaming about Jack and the Beanstalk? Okay. And the giants think that Jack and the Beanstalk is mean and he kills giants. And so that's how we ended. Sophie said they're going to kill each other because they were all fighting. All the other giants were fighting, and he said, no, they always fight. All right, so the next chapter is called Dreams. The big friendly giant was seated at the great table in his cave, and he was doing his homework. Sophie sat cross-legged on the tabletop nearby, watching him at work. The glass jar containing the one and only good dream they had caught that day stood between them. The BFG, with great care and patience, was printing something on a piece of paper with an enormous pencil. "What are you writing?" Sophie asked him. "Every dream is having a special label on the bottle," the BFG said. "How else could I be finding the one I am wanting in a hurry?" "But you can really and truly tell what sort of dream it's going to be simply by listening to it?" Sophie asked. "I can," the BFG said, not looking up. "But how?" Sophie asked. Is it by the way it hums and buzzes?" "You is less or more right," the BFG said. "Every dream in the world is making a different sort of buzzy hum music, and these grand, swashbuckling ears of mine is able to read that music." "By music, do you mean tunes?" Sophie asked. "I is not meaning tunes." "Then what do you mean?" Sophie asked. "Human beings is having their own music. Left or right?" "Right," Sophie said. "Lots of music." "And sometime human beings is very overcome when they is hearing wondrous music. They is getting shivers right down their spindles. Right or left?" "Right," Sophie said. "So the music is saying something to them. It is sending a message. I do not think that the human beings is knowing what that message is, but they is loving it just the same." "Yeah, that's about right," Sophie said. "But because of these jump-squiffling ears of mine," the BFG said, "I is not only able to hear the music that dreams is making, but I is understanding it also." "What do you mean, understanding it?" Sophie asked. "I can read it," the BFG said. "It talks to me. It is like a language." Now, what does he mean by language? Good. Yeah, he means language. "I find that just a little hard to believe," Sophie said. "I'll bet you is also finding it hard to believe in Quogswinkles," the BFG said, "and how they is visiting us from the stars." Of course I don't believe in that, Sophie said. The BFG regarded her gravely with those huge eyes of his. I hope you will forgive me, he said, if I tell you that human beings is thinking they is very clever, but they is not. They is nearly all of them not munchers and squeak pips. I beg your pardon, Sophie said. The matter with human beings, the BFG went on, is that they is absolutely refusing to believe in anything unless they is actually seeing it right in front of their schnozzles. Of course, Quogwinkles is existing. I is meeting them often. I is even chittering to them. He turned away from Sophie and resumed his writing. Sophie moved over to read what he had written so far. The letters were printed big and bold, but were not very well formed. Here's what it said. This dream is about how I is saving my teacher from drowning. I is diving into the river from a high bridge, and I is dragging my teacher to the bank, and then I is giving him the kiss of death. I'll go and show you the pictures on these 2 pages. So that's where the BFG is writing the note that he's going to put on the label. And then down here is a picture of the dream that the BFG is explaining. The kiss of what? Sophie asked. The BFG stopped writing and raised his head slowly. His eyes rested on Sophie's face. I is telling you once before, he said quietly, that I is never having a chance to go to school. I is full of mistakes. They is not my fault. I do my best. You is a lovely little girl, but please remember that you is not exactly Miss Know Everything yourself. I'm sorry, Sophie said. I really am. It is very rude of me to keep correcting you. The BFG gazed at her for a while longer, and then he bent his head again The BFG gazed at her for a little while. Then he bent his head again to his slow writing. Tell me, honestly, Sophie said, if you blew this dream into my bedroom when I was asleep, would I really and truly start dreaming about how I saved my teacher from drowning by diving off a bridge? More, the BFG said, a lot more. But I cannot be scribbling the whole grobflunking dream on a twitchy little piece of paper. Of course there is more. The BFG laid down his pencil and placed one massive ear close to the jar. For about 30 seconds, he listened intently. Yes, he said, nodding his great head solemnly up and down. Yes, the dream is continuing. Very nice. It has a very dory hunky ending. How does it end? Sophie asked. Please tell me, she begged. You would be dreaming, the BFG said, that morning after you was saving the teacher from the river, you was arriving at school and you was seeing all the 500 pupils sitting in the assembly hall and all the teachers as well. And the head teacher is then standing up and saying, I is wanting the whole school to give 3 cheers for Sophie because she is so brave and is saving the life of our fine arithmetic teacher. Now, arithmetic is math, okay? What we call math, they used to call arithmetic. So he mixed up the word arithmetic with arithmetic, okay? Mr. Figgins, who was unfortunately pushed off the bridge into the river by our gym teacher, Miss Amelia Upscotch. So 3 cheers for Sophie. And the whole school is then cheering like mad and shouting, bravo, well done. And forever after that, even when you was getting your sums all gungs wiggled and muggled up, Mr. Figgins is always giving you 10 out of 10 and writing, good work, Sophie, in your exercise book. Then you was waking up. I like that dream, Sophie said. Well, of course you like it, the BFG said. It is a fizz wizard. He licked the back of the label and stuck it onto the jar. I is usually writing a little more than this on the labels, he said, but you is watching me and you is making me very jumpsy. Oh, well, I'll go sit somewhere else then, Sophie said. No, don't go, the BFG said, looking at the jar carefully. The BFG said, look in the jar carefully, and I think you will be seeing this dream. Sophie peered in the jar, and there, sure enough, she saw the faint, translucent outline of something about the size of a hen's egg. There was just a touch of color in it, a pale sea green, soft and shimmering and very beautiful. There it lay, this small sea green jellyish thing, at the bottom of the jar, quite peaceful, but pulsing gently. The whole of it moving in and out ever so slightly, as though it were breathing. It's moving, Sophie cried. It's alive! Of course it's alive, the BFG said. What will you feed it on? Sophie asked. Oh, it is not needing any food, the BFG told her. That's so cruel, Sophie said. Everything alive needs food of some sort, even trees and plants. All right, we're going to stop there. I hope you guys have a great day, a great afternoon, depending on when you're watching this, and I will see you tomorrow.